What's up, y'all? Hope y'all are doing well, and welcome back to another show review of Many Thoughts with Dr. T. And we are doing Ready to Love. So, are y'all excited? Ready to Love is coming back out Friday, this Friday, finally. After it's been a crazy long time, um, probably a couple of months, I want to say. So, anyway, it's coming back out Friday. So, what we've been doing is just recapping the people, the storylines, the major storylines that have happened thus far. I've done episode 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then this is 5 and 6. Okay. And then episode 7 it will be dropping Friday. Okay. I was just feeling a little lazy today. So I'm just still in my office on the other side of my office, sitting on my couch. Okay. So let's cover episode 5 first. And again, I'm not doing every scene, just some of the bigger storylines and things that happened. So episode 5, the main thing was Tommy, they had Tommy's Philly block party. Um, and it's just like, why are all of the events outside? It seems to be summertime. It seems to be very hot. But do y'all know this? Everything they do is outside. All like the mixers are always outside. It's just like, why y'all want people sweating all the time? What's up with that? But anyway, they were outside. It seemed like they were out there for hours. I felt so bad. Um, so the big things that came from this, Francisco and Tay. So we find out, and this was real crazy that so Tay tells us that Francisco doesn't have a car or a house, ladies and gentlemen. He is renting a room somewhere, okay? So Francisco's side is that he was divorced, okay, and trying to get back on his feet, and that his this so and then Tay was saying that the spark they had is fading and pretty much gone when she found out that information because of course she's trying to figure out her future. And then Francisco also tells us that his mom doesn't really mess with him and he's checked out. All right. Naeem. So you remember he sat down with Naeem, and Naeem did a really good job speaking life into him and lifting his spirit. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, First of all, Francisco, I'm not even trying to be funny, he needs to get his sweat glands checked out because in every scene, no matter where they at, he is like sweating profusely. So he really needs to see like if there's a deeper issue going on there. Um, and y'all, it's like I understand that things happen, like I really do. I just feel like if you're a man and you don't have, let's say, I was gonna say definitely if you in your 30s and 40s. If you 24 or older, okay, maybe I'll give you 26 and you're a man, you don't have your own place, you don't have a car. And let's just say, because I know you can live like in a city where you don't need a car, but you know what I'm saying. You don't own a vehicle, you don't have a place that you can call yours. It doesn't necessarily have to be a house, but you don't have an apartment. It's just a like, and he told us this, y'all. He said he was checked out. His mom don't mess with him. Like you got a lot going on. So I'm not sure where within that you said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sign up for Ready to Love. That's what I'm gonna do. I need to find a woman. No. So that's my grievance with Francisco. You need to be working on yourself. You need to get stable employment enough so that you can get you a place, enough so that you can get you reliable transportation. Like I don't know why you signed up for this show. I really don't. Like that's real, real crazy. And I don't know. And I mean, Tay was right to pull back. Like, say what now? Like, I'm trying to get married. How in the world am I gonna get married? You don't even have a place to stay. So you're gonna be living with me, driving my car, dropping me off at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So that's my only thing. Like I said, I understand that things happen. I get that, but I just don't know why in the world he signed up for Ready to Love. You are not ready to love. You need to be ready to take care of yourself. So, yeah, I'm out on Francisco. The next one, Cam. Um, okay, so yeah, Cam. So y'all remember they're at this block party, and Cam is with Rose again. I don't know why Rose is still talking to Cam because Rose is spiritual, Cam's not. But anyway, so they're together, and Cam keeps like looking over at Sahara, seeing what Sahara is doing, right? Because Sahara was talking to Tay, and we call him Cam Turner around here, Cam Ike Turner, because he real problematic with a lot of things he be saying. So this is another one. Okay. Kim is really worried about Sahara, what she has going on. And she's like, yeah, she over there laughing a little bit too loud. I'm like, they outside. Like, what are you talking about? So then the producer, this is in his confessional, the producer asks, he says, Kim, are you a jealous type? And he was like, I mean, I'm saying I would just say I'm aware. Red flag, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's too many things. Um, and then another thing that I pointed out was at some point he was talking to Angie, and I guess they were trying to exchange phone numbers. And I guess Angie just, pulled out her phone first, like, oh yeah, let me get your number. He was like, nah, put your phone away. You're supposed to be begging me. I'm supposed to be begging you. And I was just like, see, it's just a lot with Kim. Any one of these things individually is not that deep, but when you combine them all together, I feel like it's problematic, right? So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go see the other two reviews I did. It's adding up. Cam gives me that he's insecure himself, and he's very on a tip like men do this and women do that. And he's very like black and white in that, and there's no gray area. That's from what everything I've been hearing. Like he might be on some like, if y'all have a baby, like, yeah, I mean, men don't change diapers. You know what I'm saying? Men do the finances. I don't know what all he might have in his brain that women should not be doing and men got to do type of thing. So I would be worried again just to date him. I would definitely need to date him for a extended period of time to just understand like where he's at with that. Because you remember the whole like when you come home, you gotta fall in line and all that type of stuff. I don't know. I just don't know what he might be on. So the next thing that came up, Fritz, again, y'all know I think Fritz is playing games. But anyway, him and this poly lifestyle thing came up again. And he says he does not engage in the poly lifestyle, but he said he's intrigued by it. So and then he was like, "Oh, I mean, I don't need it." Um, so yeah, because Sahara chose him to go on a date. I think they went to get their like a mani pedicure type of thing. I don't know why Sahara chose to go on a date with him again. Because remember, she won. There was some competition at the block party. She won, which means she could go on a date with anybody. I don't know why she chose Fritz. I thought that was silly. Because they had a previous encounter and it didn't go well when they were at the gym with Naeem and they kinda had a little friction. And so I'm not sure why she didn't just choose somebody else. But anyway, she chose to go on a date with him and then bring up this whole poly thing. And yeah, so he was like, nah, I mean, I don't need that, but I'm intrigued by it. So again, just playing games. I so then we got Eddie and Coley. So again, we're still at this block party. It looked like Coley was drunk. I guess that's what I'm gonna take from this. Again, you don't know because you don't know with her, right? Imma just say she was drunk. Um, and then she was just, like, kinda slurring her words. She was, sitting in between Eddie's legs, just really close to him, talking sexually. And then at some point, she kissed him, like, uninvited. Like, it was to the point where other people were starting to notice, like, "What is going on over there?" type of thing. Like, she was doing a lot. But then, yeah, she, like, just kissed him uninvited. He was like, "Dang, like, what's going on?" Like, she really looked crazy. Um, and he didn't really reciprocate the energy, and I think she got offended and kinda, like, stormed off or whatever. It was real weird. Um, and, that really turned Eddie off from her because men don't really like, men that are serious don't really like sloppy drunks, you know what I'm saying? Like, pull yourself together. So that turned him off, and Imma just say this, y'all, I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but it was low-key sexual harassment. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I know we don't feel that way because, it was a woman doing it to a man, but let's reverse the roles. What if this was reversed? What if Eddie was coming on to Coley in that way? What if he was like stirring his words like, yeah, and all draped up on her? And she was kind of like, dang, and then like kissed her, uninvited. He could have potentially got kicked off the show for that. You see what I'm saying? But again, since it's switched, we just carry on and we laugh it off. But I just thought that wasn't cool what Coley did. Um, and I think we gotta take it just as serious as we would if it was switched. I think everybody would have called him out, been like, man, you gotta bounce. And again, Tommy probably would have talked to him, it would have been a whole thing, because we've seen that in previous seasons. So I thought that was kind of messed up with Coley. Um I didn't see anybody else tipsy or drunk, so I don't know why she was that messed up. Maybe she was just hot and that was like her way of dealing with it. I don't know. So then it was time for the men to do their deliberation, and Fritz said that, oh yeah, so the men were doing the deliberation, and for some reason Fritz was like dead set on getting Sahara kicked out. So he would this is just what we could hear, but evidently he was saying like a lot of other stuff. And he was like, yeah, the count is up good. Cause at some point Tommy goes around and asks like who all they're not feeling. So I guess a couple of people had said Sahara at this point. So he was like, yeah, the count is up good. Get her out of here. So Sahara's about to be out of here. Sahara's gone. Like he was really pressed to get her out. And so you remember Cam called him out, like, what's your deal? Like, chill. We're all on our own journey. Like, why are you trying to convince everybody and doing some campaign against Sahara? So, Fritz tries to walk it back and downplay it, like, what you mean? And tries to play it all cool. But I really applauded Kim for standing up for Sahara in that moment and what he believed in, because they probably would have voted her off if not for him. So, and again, I told you I don't like Fritz anyway. He's on here this is just a game show to him. Like he's not serious about any of these women. And so I was glad that Cam called him out. So then it's time for 2 ladies to go home because you gotta even out the count, and don't get me started about the logistics of this show is so dumb, and I'll talk about it more, next episode. But anyway, they gotta even out the count, so 2 ladies have to go home. So to throw us off, they have the men talk to 3 ladies, so we don't know who are gonna be the 2. And then they do a cliffhanger, which is also dumb. So we don't find out to episode 6, okay? So episode 6 comes on and we find out that Rocky is going home, which made sense. She just had no connections. It's like, and again, she's a beautiful woman. I just think she needs to like pull herself together a little bit, get a little bit more mature clothing, a little bit more quality clothing. I don't know. Everything just looked disheveled when it came to her for some reason. Coley also went home, and I know homegirl was surprised because she just figured her good looks, she was gonna be good. She had nothing to worry about. So she was like, "Oh, okay." So I know that surprised her. Yeah, Rocky didn't have any connections that I seen, and I think Coley, she set the precedence early that she was kind of an airhead, and I think that's where she went wrong. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if she was trying to put on the act and be funny, she was playing like the damsel in distress role. I don't know, but whatever it was, like none of the guys were feeling it. And I thought that was good that they seen past her looks. And it showed me that most of the guys there are looking for something a little bit deeper, and not just a woman that looks good. So I think she was really surprised. So that means Sahara stayed. I mean, really, all 3 of them could have went. To be honest, I don't think any of them men are serious about any of them. I guess Cam does like Sahara a little bit, so it made sense. So she stayed, but she was over it because you got to remember this is her 3rd time. I think she's been on the chopping block every time. 'Cause after the mixer, she got a second chance, but she was on the chopping block. The other week, she was on the chopping block, and then this week too. So she was just really, really frustrated and kinda taking it out on Cam a little bit. But little did she know, I was like, "You need to chill, cause Cam is, like, one of your only allies." So then the assignment for this week was to date your second option. So somebody you wouldn't normally go for because obviously the people that you normally go for, it normally doesn't work out. And that's why you're on the show. And so he wants them to try somebody different. So a couple of scenes that stood out to me was Deanna and Hussein. So remember they went horseback riding. So they go horseback riding. And again, I don't know. Deanna just has a complex. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like, yeah, it's a big horse and a little horse. And I got there first. So I chose the big horse. His name was Goliath, and I left him with the little horse. And it's just like, okay, girl. He is like, y'all, Hussein is 6'7". Like, why wouldn't you give him the bigger horse? I don't know. I think she has like a complex against men. Like, yeah, I can do anything a man can do. And she's a firefighter as well. So that's just what I get from her. She just exudes like, yeah, I can do what a man can do. And that's cool. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But she just like it's a little bit too much. Um so after they ride the horses, they sit down and they talk about deal breakers. And Deanna mentions that communication is one for her, and she really doesn't like anybody that's reluctant to bring up things. And right after she says that, she just goes in on Hussein. It's almost like she planned to say this. As soon as they said deal breakers, oh yeah, communication. I don't like somebody being reluctant to bring up things. And you know what you give me? Y'all remember this? Because I remember when she said it, I was like, did I miss something? So she said that Hussein doesn't seem like a communicator. She was like, you don't seem like a communicator. You give me somebody that if you don't like something, you just linger on it and you don't bring it up in the moment. You don't tell the person right away. Something has to trigger you in order for you to bring it up. And Hussein was like, say what now? So Hussein was like, I actually don't have a problem communicating. Like, where are you getting that from? And I felt the same way. I had to rewind it. I was like, maybe I was on my phone and I missed the scene or something. Like, did I miss something? I mean, talk about projection. I mean, dang. I'm like, what is this based on, Deanna? Like, you don't know this guy. I don't know where this came from. It was real weird. And that's what I'm saying. Like she just has a real judgmental type of demeanor about herself. But then it was funny because he kind of flipped it on her because she was saying how, yeah, I don't got time to be texting all day. Like, I don't really be doing that. Um, and he was like, well, if you're really locked in with your person, like, you should really try and make an effort. And she was like, I mean, it's not like I'm at a desk job and I can just be like, oh, yeah, hey, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firefighter. And again, putting her profession, I just think she has a complex with this firefighter thing. I think everybody praises her because that's a man's thing, and the fact that she's doing it, I think she get something out of it. You remember we were talking about Shanice and how some people's careers make them and it becomes their identity. And I think this firefighter thing has gone to her head. Thank God we need firefighters. I love it. Like, I really do. But I think it's gone to her head and that's her identity. Like, I can do the same thing the men can do. And my profession is more important than anybody else's. And I could be wrong, y'all, because I don't know anything about firefighting, but it's like you're not fighting fires all day, every day. Like, I feel like y'all be in the firehouse playing cards when y'all not fighting fighters. So it's like the fact that she's like, "Oh yeah, I can't. I mean, I just don't have time. I fight fires." It's like, girl, yeah, I'm sure you have time to text. Stop. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but I don't feel like. I mean, what are y'all doing when you're not fighting fires? Does a fire break out every single day? Maybe it does. Maybe they fire is going off all over the place. I don't know. But it's just like, I think again, that's just gone to her head, and she feels like she's so important. Her career is so much more important than anybody else's, and I can do anything a man can do. And I just think it would be hard for her. It's gonna be hard for her to find a mate, as you can see, because she's on this show. I think she's gotta humble herself a little bit. I think she takes herself a little bit too serious. So they both agree that it wasn't gonna work. So then we go to Shanice, and Shanice goes on a date with Francisco. And I'm like, girl, have you asked him, does he have a house? Have you asked him, does he have a car? How did he get to this date? Okay. Did you pick him up? I don't know what's going on. Okay. But anyway, they have a canvas painting date. And they were painting on each other's bodies. So he had to get undressed. She was painting on his chest. He was painting on her breasts. I thought this date was wildly inappropriate. I thought this was a better date for somebody that for like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a spouse type of thing. Not somebody you're getting to know, especially not your I think this might be their first date even. Like, I understand that she's a nudist and all of that, but again, y'all, I know we laughing it off and it's all good. But what if the roles were reversed? Would we be saying the same thing? What if Cisco was like, "Oh, I'm a nudist," and he invites Shanice out and like, "Oh yeah, take your clothes off. I'm about to paint on your breasts." What? We would have been like, "Oh my god, that's so inappropriate." But because the genders, are reversed, because Cisco has a nice body, we figured, "Oh, he loved it," and maybe he did. But I just thought that was inappropriate. What if he felt uncomfortable? What if he didn't want to take his shirt off and be painted on? You know what I'm saying? Um, Shanice is given trying too hard. I think that in that mixer, because I think she almost got voted off because the men thought she was being too serious, and all she was talking about was her profession. I think she's wildly swung to the other end, and she's almost leading with sexuality now. If you remember, she like kissed Fritz on the mouth out of nowhere. And then she's doing this sexual canvas painting date. It's like, you need to slow down just a little bit. Okay. You don't know these guys like that. Like, you doing too much. Okay. Just be yourself. Just be who you are, and let them get to know you before you're like jump into all this sexual stuff. So that's my take on Shanice. And then Eddie and Angie. So this was a lot too. So Angie, she tells us that she's still cool with all of her exes, and one in particular is her best friend. So Eddie says she would have to cut off all communication. Angie says that's not going to happen. And they just determined that they're not going to be a match for each other, because that was a really big deal to Angie, because she was like, I'm not cutting him off. Like, no. Um, yeah, I'm with Eddie on this. I think I already told y'all this. Like, I don't do opposite sex best friends. Like, no. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't care the situation, what had happened. I didn't know her for so, and I don't care. If my husband would have had a best friend, I don't know, Monica, Ashley, whoever, Rachel, and this is my bestie, I wouldn't have continued to talk to him. Like, no. Y'all might say I'm immature for that, but it's a no. Like, I'm his female best friend. Okay. I'm not saying that he can't have friends that are females, but you're talking about best friends. You're talking about somebody that you're talking to on a consistent basis, that you're texting. No. Okay. So I was with Eddie on that. And then it's like, it's one thing to have an opposite sex best friend. It's a whole other level to have your ex as your best friend. So I didn't understand how Angie didn't understand that that was weird. Okay. And again, I'm not saying that people do that, to each his own, but I just think that's real. I was confused why Angie was like, "What? You wouldn't let me do that?" Wow. Like, she was real acting like that was just a normal thing. Like, Eddie was missing it or something. Yeah, no. And again, Angie, it's gonna be hard for you because I don't know many men that would be cool with that. You talking about an ex that you were with, that you probably had sex with. She even admitted that, "Oh, yeah, we tried to rekindle it, but it didn't happen." You gonna be hard pressed to find a man, sis. So I'm hoping I hope that best friend keeps you warm at night. Good luck with that because it's gonna really be hard for you. Again, I don't know many men that would be cool with that. I don't know why she was acting like that was so crazy to understand. Um 'Cause I just think, like, and again, I'm cool with, my husband having obviously, having female, friends and associates and stuff like that, um, but I just think you never need to be calling, texting, or communicating with a female on a consistent basis, definitely not your exes. Now, if you're in spaces, I don't know, you're in small town or whatever, you may run into or be in spaces with your exes, like, cool, like, be cordial, I'm all for that, but you're talking about constant communication, that's a no. Um, so I was with Eddie on that. And then finally, the last one I wanted to bring up was with Rose and Fritz. So Rose tells us that she has had several miscarriages. Unfortunately, she has one child. And she wants to know if Fritz would be okay if she wasn't able to have any more kids because that could potentially happen. And she also, I didn't bring this up, but she also met with Hussein and that's the guy that's like 6'7", and, asked him the same thing, and they actually bonded because both of them were in foster care for a minute, and they both said they would be open to adoption. So I think she needs to explore that connection. I thought they got along really well. She definitely needs to drop Kim, and I don't know why she's talking to Fritz. But anyway, so she explains this to Fritz, and Fritz is very understanding. He was like, "Don't worry about it, because this day and age, you can get a surrogate." And she was like, "Oh no, I would never have another woman carrying my baby." I was like, "Dang, Rose, it's okay, calm down." But she would consider adoption. But then Fritz was kind of like, "I'm not really feeling adoption," so they're probably not going to work. Let me tell y'all something. I would love to have a surrogate. I don't know, and again, to each his own, right? This is just me, like, please, if we had the funds, I don't know how much it costs. I know it's like 25,000, it could be even more. If we had that type of money, okay, what? I would get a surrogate so quick. I told y'all, like, my whole thing is, I'm a college professor, I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher. I love to teach. I love the tiny humans when they're 3 or up. I told y'all that. I got you. Anything before 3, I just be trying to get through it, okay? And y'all pray for me because I got a one-year-old and a two-year-old, so pray for your girl, okay? But, anything before 3, like, I don't gotta carry the baby to bond. I was not on the whole breastfeeding thing. I wasn't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? I just want them to be a little human so we can talk, we can communicate. I can teach them about life, how to deal with different situations at school. You see what I'm saying? That's where I come in. Okay. So I was not with her with this. I would have a surrogate any day of the week. Do you hear me? Okay. Matter of fact, I'd have 2 more kids if we could afford a surrogate. Now, my husband is like Rose, he's not with the whole surrogate thing. I'm just like, it's your blood, it's still your baby, it's just somebody else carrying it, right? Somebody else baking it, but it's still your baby, so I don't know, and the other thing that's so funny about this, y'all, what do you think adoption is? She's like, "I mean, I'm cool with adoption." Adoption is the same thing. Somebody else carried that. Not only did somebody else carry it, but that's not even your blood or DNA. But you cool with that. But a surrogate, which is your blood and DNA, again, somebody else is carrying it. Like that's like, oh my God, that's out of the realm. It just didn't make sense. I don't think she was thinking through what she was saying. Because if you're so against somebody else carrying a child and you wouldn't want adoption either, you would be like, well, it just has to come from me. Um, but yeah, to each his own. Like I said, I would be open to surrogacy. I had 3 sons. Each one of my births were very traumatic. So, because you guys know that when a woman is, um, in childbirth, that's like the closest a woman comes to death. Seriously, like, you can look that up, like, it's touch and go. You see what I'm saying? Like, you cannot be here. You see what I'm saying? So, if I could get out of that, I would. Like I said, but all my childbirths were traumatic. My first, my blood pressure skyrocketed. Had to have a C-section with him. My second, I tried to have, him naturally, and we really tried. I was in labor for 2 days, and eventually, they tried to, induce me, all this stuff. It didn't work. Had to end up having a C-section with him. My third, I was like, "Just put me on the table. I ain't got time." Um, so it was a scheduled C-section. By this time, I had 2 C-sections. This was my third. It was scheduled, so I already knew what to expect. And I could have not been here, y'all. Like, I'm serious. Like, because again, I knew what to expect. So when it didn't go that way, I was like, what's going on? They had my because normally, like, after they get the baby out, my husband and myself, we all go into like a waiting room and all this type of stuff. Because you got to get the epidural, and literally the bottom part of my body, is immobile. So I have to literally wait there until I get feeling in my legs again, which can take some time. But this time, my they had my husband and the baby go into the waiting room without me. So, I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" Um, they had somebody on standby in case that I lost, a lot of blood, and, they had, like, a IV prepared in my arm just in case, I needed a blood transfusion and all this stuff. Next thing I know, they hooking that thing up, and I'm like, "What's going on?" You know what I'm saying? And I see chaos ensuing around me, but and there's a nurse, like, right beside me, kinda to keep me calm, and I'm just asking her, like, "Is everything gonna be okay? Like, is everything," I just kept asking her that, like, "Is everything okay?" Because 'Cause I'm seeing chaos, but she's like, "Oh, yeah, it's cool, like, don't worry." And I'm looking like, it looks like people are worried though, you know what I'm saying? So I was just praying the whole time, and, come to find out, I lost like a crazy amount of blood, and I coulda not been here. So I just say all that to say, like, I'm all for a surrogate, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's childbirth, like, that's not anything to play with. I've had miscarriages. Y'all, my 30s, I'm just glad to be done with having children. It's been filled with trying to have kids, infertility. My second, we did IVF. I've done every procedure known to man. It's the childbirth, the C. It's a lot. Okay, so I feel like if you got the funds to escape that, do it. But I get it. It's to each his own. I understand some people want to go through and bond with the baby. So I get that too. I don't think it's a right or wrong, but it was just so crazy how Rose was acting like that was so weird, but you're cool with adoption. So anyway, so that was the end of episode 5 and 6, y'all. Um, Eddie and Fritz are on the chopping block, and one of them are going home, but they leave it as a cliffhanger. Why you leave that as a cliffhanger knowing the show isn't coming back for a year? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's making decisions over their own. I always tell y'all that. I don't know what's happening over there. I think that was stupid. Okay. I don't know why anybody in the room said, "Hey y'all, we're gonna be off the air for 4 months. Let's go ahead and tell them it's the cliffhanger thing is just silly anyway. Like, just tell us who's going off and just close the episode and then anyway, that's all I got, y'all. Um, I'm excited to see because they gave us a couple of previews, so it seems like there's gonna be a lot going on. So I'm excited to see all the things that ensue. Um, so coming back on Friday, I'm gonna try my best, y'all, to be on point and record every Monday, drop the episode every Monday. Okay, so y'all can know when to expect it. So I'm gonna try my best to do that. And also my mini thoughts with Dr. T. So y'all know I do show reviews, that's why you're here. But I also do mini thoughts with Dr. T. And that's just any random knowledge that's in my head. So we talking about different things every episode. I've dropped 5 so far, so go check out the playlist if you haven't already. I'm coming back. I took the summer off. I'm coming back this Friday as well with episode 6, and we're gonna be talking about the power of dreaming, okay? Dreaming is what I do. Like, I already see myself in my house with my personal chef, all the stuff. So Imma just, tell y'all a little bit about what's in my head, and Imma also have my seven-year-old son, Jalen. He's gonna make a guest appearance too. He is hilarious, so you don't wanna miss it. So I'm gonna be dropping that, Friday at 8 a.m. is when that's gonna drop too, so check that out. So that's all I got, and I will see y'all for episode 7 of Ready to Love. See ya.